What happens to me, which I see happen to a ton of dentists, especially in startup phase, is they're all over social media, but then all of a sudden the practice starts growing, they
Yeah.
get busy, and then they're gone, they're MIA, you know?
What are your thoughts on like personal brand and that side of the coin?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up because I'm going to shoot a question back to you. I think man, it's not one of these like good, bad, right or wrong. However, I think if you can leverage your personal brand, it's just gonna put an X factor on the growth, the reach, the influence. Because everybody wants to know their clinician and their healthcare advisor, professional. And so the brands that are doing that, it's just like, I mean, it's like putting a exponent, on what they're doing. It's just multiplying that. When we started Studio 88, we actually built out joshuascott.com first,
Yeah.
and which was like counterintuitive, but it was mostly, I didn't want to be like, hey, next great dental marketing company, you don't know us, but come check us out. And I had a lot of relationships from 12 years previously, and it was like, hey, people do business with people they trust, and so let's build that. And the first 6 years of this, I was really, really active on social media, and so in Studio 88 kind of grew into their own. What happens to me, which I see happen to a ton of dentists, especially in startup phase, is they're all over social media, but then all of a sudden the practice starts growing, they
Yeah.
get busy, and then they're gone, they're MIA, you know? And the last like 18, 24 months for me have been really difficult, man, to keep up with it. I'm going to shoot this back to you because what I've been really impressed with you in the last, I don't know if it's been the last year, but 6 to 8 months, 10 months, um, you have made an absolute intentional decision to like invest in social media and your personal brand. So I
Yeah.
would love to hear just a little bit about that. I know this is my interview, but I want to
Yeah. No,
like
no,
throw
no.
that
I
out there
love
because I
I'll
love
touch
it.
on. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been playing around and I had to overcome some. I personally don't like social media. Like I just
Yeah.
personally don't enjoy it. I don't think I'm like, why do people care what I'm eating for lunch today? Right? That's always been my perspective. But let me approach this from the dental side, and then I'll work into why I built my personal brand. So, um, it's very interesting. So I was talking with Dr. Mackey. I was asking her like, how many new patients do you get a month? Like, how much time are you spending? And how many new patients a month are you getting from that? And it wasn't a ton of new patients, right? Because she really has a national brand. So I was fascinated with this, like time versus the number of new patients that you're actually getting from it. And she's into it more and she told me, she was straight up, she was like, I really enjoy educating people. There's a whole
Mhm.
side of the business that I'm going to build around education. That's why I'm doing it. It's not to generate new patients. So I
Yeah.
said, okay, that makes sense then why you're doing that. But I think a lot of dentists think that, well, if I build my personal brand, it'll build my business. I think that's true to a point, like locally.
Yeah.
But if you go and look at a lot of these guys that are huge, I mean, millions of followers, they'll have like one practice and that one practice is doing good, but it's not a scalable thing where you can like, oh, I want to open up hundreds of locations. But you can sell, where the play is, you can sell toothbrushes, you can sell toothpaste, you can sell
Yeah.
different things, products. And I know dentists don't typically think that way, right? Like, that's not the normal business model, but there is a play there, for sure, if you decide to go down that road, where I think the big opportunity is, and I would consume this content like crazy, and I know the dentist would as well. What if like a CEO of a DSO created like a TikTok or an
Yeah.
Instagram and they used it for recruiting,